Okay. One of the hardest things, it seems, for people to do is to honestly assess a situation. And we have seen that in the world of MAGAville, and once I say MAGAville, I have people yelling at me. So let me start clearly with, I don't give a damn. That you can't criticize Donald Trump. Sure I can. When he does something wrong, I say so. I'm a grown-up. I'll have Steve Bannon yelling at me, but who cares? Tariffs or taxes. I apologize for nothing. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning. Good to be with you. President Trump did an interview with Laura Ingraham. And allow me to give all the credit in the world to Laura Ingraham, who did an absolutely spectacular job in this interview pushing back on President Trump. Proving that, yes, indeed, it can be done. And it should be done. So part of this conversation was about H-1B visas, bringing in people from other countries to work in the United States.
There's never going to be a country like what we have right now.
And does that mean
the Republicans have to talk about it?
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent.
When we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here.
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Well, I'll give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing. It's very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say a country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant, and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't.
Now, in the case regarding Georgia, these people were here illegally. If we needed them, they could have been here legally, but they were here illegally. Hyundai hired them, and I believe the fine should be massive and people should lose their jobs, because that's what would happen in any other industry. The argument should not be you don't need these people, but rather exactly how many of them do you need? And certainly no American president should ever be saying we don't have the talent. It sounds awful. He goes about explaining himself, and Laura Ingraham shows that you can push back and you can do this. It's allowed. There are no special gloves that have to be used with the president. He works for us, as I have said here repeatedly. But now you get to a part 2 of this interview talking about bringing in foreign students, specifically from communist China.
Not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States. We have about 350,000 Chinese. One point during COVID, you were going to, push to, get them out, but that was pulled back. You've said as many as 600,000 Chinese students could come to the United States. Why, sir, is that a pro-MAGA position when so many American kids want to go to school and there are places not for them, and these universities are getting rich off Chinese money?
Sure. Never said about China, but we do have a lot of people coming in from China. We always have, China and other countries. We also have a massive system of colleges and universities. And if we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
Well, I think that's a big deal.
It's not a big deal, sir. It's not a big deal at all. It is not our job to take in students from other countries who are hell-bent on the destruction of our country so some university can profit. Don't care about those universities at all. And if any university president in the state of Indiana, for example, wants to discuss it, I will discuss it with them on air or off. I do not care. That is a terrible, terrible argument. Now, for President Trump, you always want growth. You always want building. You want everything to look at this, look at that. Look what I've created here, created there. You don't need this growth. And you'd be better off if you didn't have 600,000 communist Chinese students in the United States. We already know what the Confucius Institutes do. There's a story over there at News Nation that a nuclear bomber fleet in Missouri shares a fence with a trailer park that is now linked to Chinese intelligence. This report reporting from the Daily Caller that the trailer park is, quote, linked to a convicted fraudster with Chinese Communist Party intelligence ties, sharing a fence with Whiteman Air Force Base. No one connected to the Communist Chinese can own land in the United States, and the land must be taken on national security grounds. These are not Americans. They have no rights, and nobody wants to hear about their rights. You can't own land if you are connected with the Communist Chinese Party. End of list. You can't say, well, they may be students from Communist China, but, you know, it keeps the colleges open, so we need that. We don't need that. We don't need that, and we don't want it. And President Trump, you're wrong. This is the second miss. Epstein and this. The H-1B visa conversation, we can at least discuss what are the specific skills that we need to train up Americans on, and where have they done this in other countries, and how we go about that training. You could have that argument. There is none here. This is a miss, President Trump. You missed. You're wrong. Now, I know that there are people on your staff who won't tell you this. I understand that. But you are wrong. And it isn't wrong to say. It isn't, oh my gosh, you're such a Trump hater. You're a never Trumper. You're just so anti-MAGA. Could all those people just grow the hell up for 30 seconds? I'm not interested in children complaining and moaning, kvetching and bitching about somehow I said something about their idol. He's the president of the United States, and I need what's done in America's best interest. And allowing in communist Chinese or any other foreign student who is not interested in the safety, security, and the future of America, letting them in for the sake of keeping colleges afloat is nonsense. It's a terrible idea. He's wrong. And if you support that, I would argue you're wrong as well. This is a miss. And I don't think President Trump appreciates that he missed. I don't think he appreciated it regarding the Epstein files, and I don't think he appreciates it here. And again, I'll say it. I don't know Laura personally. I think I may have done her show before. There's a story that the hardest job in radio ever was being her producer. I've heard that a million times in my life. She did this admirably, this interview. Well done, Laura. But the president missed. And this is a miss that should have people on the right saying, yeah, he's just wrong here. He's just wrong. And it's okay to say there are things he's right about and things he's wrong about. And it is our job as the electorate to make sure he stays on the right path and not be told you can't say this because that's anti-Trump. We speak freely. And Mr. President, you don't have it on this one. You might want to rethink it and then correct it. Matt Bear has got traffic on the 5s. What's up, Matty Boo Boo?